What's going on, guys? So today I'm trying something a little bit different, and it's not a feature I haven't known about, but it's a feature that isn't talked about, and I've personally never tried or even used this feature, which is the HDR function on the 5D Mark IV. So I'm gonna shoot a little vlog, a little video today, and I'm just gonna test this out. Maybe it'll turn out really good and I'll continue using it. Maybe it'll turn out really bad and I probably won't post it. So if you're seeing this, there is some sort of amazing quality to it. So I'm gonna test out everything and see if it actually makes sense to vlog with. Maybe I'm onto something right now. So I'm just going to pick up one of my homegirls right now. We're gonna do a small little fall photo shoot. And I have noticed that the HDR mode probably isn't for vloggers because you can't save it to the custom settings. Every time the camera turns off and then you turn it back on, you have to reapply the HDR mode, which is kind of a pain. But if the quality of the video is worth it, it might be useful. But I won't know that until I get home and get the footage on my computer. So let me stop talking. She's coming right now. And let's go to this park so I can show y'all some amazing, beautiful B-roll. We just finished our shoot, and then I realized that the HDR mode was off in most of the shots that I did, so I'm not really going to include those. I find that it is very, very annoying that you have to keep turning it on. Every time you either change settings or change modes, the HDR function goes off. Also, that you're essentially locked into 30 frames a second, which I don't really like. I like to use 24, and then I like to use 120 or 60 frames. And just slow it down a little bit and make it look all creamy goodness. And with this, you can't really get any slow motion with the HDR video. So yeah. I also didn't really pick a great day to do an HDR video because it's perfect lighting outside right now. Everything's super soft. The sky is one giant cloud, so it's essentially one giant softbox. So it definitely got dark super fast. I just made it home. I'm gonna look at this footage. If I have something, then I will probably use it. If I don't have anything crazy good, then I'm probably gonna film a little bit tomorrow. So it's a couple days later. The temperature has dropped drastically. It is freezing outside right now. I'm getting my tires changed over to winter tires because that's the Canadian thing to do. It's definitely a better day to shoot this HDR video because the sun's out, which means the difference between highlights and shadows is a lot further than when it's super overcast. So let's go shoot some randomness and see what we can come up with. I'm just gonna do a little comparison test where I shoot something in HDR mode and then I'm gonna switch it over to normal mode and then see what the differences are in the actual dynamic range and how different it actually looks and how worth it would be for it to actually be shot in HDR mode, to take that extra step to get more dynamic range, or maybe there is no extra dynamic range and maybe it looks like complete garbage. Starting to snow right now, and I want to say this is no means like a super technical review. This is more of just like a run and gun vlog situation where I want to know if the HDR function is actually worth it for vlogging, and would it be worth me taking the extra step to turning it on. After reviewing the footage, I noticed that if you slow down and want to get the perfect, the highest quality shot that you could possibly get, I would say the HDR function is worth it compared to what you're gonna get with the normal mode. You're gonna get more detail in the shadows and definitely more details in the highlights. You're not gonna blow out stuff as much. But I noticed that the HDR mode tends to underexpose just a little bit, and then the grays and like the dark areas just look a little bit more muddy in my personal experience. I set it on AV mode, set the aperture, and just let the camera figure out everything else. So for me, for just vlogging, the noise level is huge. There is a lot of noise, but you can get away with it because you can just denoise it in post. But nonetheless, I definitely think it's worth it, but only if you need to get the absolute best shot. Say you're on vacation somewhere and you want to make this one shot perfect, get the most detailed dynamic range out of the camera that you have. I think it's worth it. To shoot a whole video in, it's definitely not worth it because you have to keep turning it on every time you change settings or your camera goes to sleep. You can't get any slow motion. So that's all for this video. If you did like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help. And until the next video, peace.